We have a little unique program here because our community is based with mostly non-speakers, so there's a struggle there right from the get-go. Uh, but our director had felt that the younger children should be having Mi'kmaq class every day, so we started off with 15 minutes a day for the primaries ones and grade twos, but they were coming to my class, so 15 minutes wasn't cutting it. So I had to plead with the director, let's change this up a bit. So now we have the primaries ones and twos every day for a half hour, which is fine. The grade fours, 3, 4, 5s, I have the grade threes 4 times a week, and the grade fives, 4s and 5s 3 times a week. And we also have another lady who teaches the junior high level, grade 6, 7, 8. And with the little kids that are here every day, we do our icebreakers. They're excellent at our icebreakers. We start off with the date for today, the weather for today, how are you feeling today, and then we move on to different pictures, different words. And on Fridays, where our classes are so repetitive, we have play centers for the children. One section will be set up with the animals, one section's with food, dishes, another one is a farm, another one is a doctor's set. We have Mr. Potato Heads, so they just love it. They get to play, but the object is you can play with my toys. I tell them that they're my toys. If you can play with my toys, but I need to hear you speak as much Mi'kmaq as possible. And our children are not fluent, but they can tell me what animal they want to play with. They can tell me they want to play with the doll. They can tell me they want to play with Mr. Potato Head. So where we're in such a short time, the children spend so much time at each station, and then we switch. So they know their hard work. They get rewarded with Fun Friday. So they work hard, and our work is very repetitive because of that. We don't want to change it up too much because we want what they're learning to stick with them. And that's the thing here is it's hard for our children to understand that this is our language, this is our culture, and the struggle is they're so good at their language, but there's not too many people at home to speak to. And I have to work on getting them to understand that Mi'kmaq does not stop once you leave this classroom, and that's our biggest struggle. I'm trying to encourage them to speak to the other staff, whether they understand or not, because this is a Mi'kmaq school. Speak to their peers, their friends out in the playground, speak at home. So that's our hardest struggle, because I encourage them so much every day. They know so much. I can speak to them, sit down, come here, put that away. They know how to tell me they need a drink, they need to go to the washroom, they need a snack. But just to push them that little more to get out there and use what they learn here. And on Wednesdays, the young kids don't have a music program here. So when I first started, I didn't know any music. I wasn't brought up with traditional songs and dance. So one day I told the kids, I said, we don't have any music. So we play a couple of videos on a smart board. But then I purchased a drum. My first drum, I purchased this. And I started getting songs, and I started typing them out on Word, and we learned them together. So every Wednesday we have a music day. They love it. We have a drum. The kids play the drum. We have little jingle dresses for the little ones. We have little vests. They love to dance. They love to sing. I think that's probably their favorite time is the music day. Even when they come running in on Wednesday, it's music day, it's music day. So now that the weather's nice, I've been taking them outside, which is a lot better because they're more free out there, because in here it's hard to get our dancing done. We don't want to disturb the other classes with the drums, so we're more free outside. But they love it, and just especially the little ones. I find the older they get, they start to get reluctant, a little shy. But with the small children, they're just so free, and they just love it. They love it. And me seeing their smiles and hearing them sing their music, because there's a lot of language in our music. There's a lot of stories in our songs and dance. And, to listen to a 4 or 5 year old explain to you this song or what this dance is about is just, it's amazing, because we don't have a lot of people, maybe adults, that even know some of the stuff the children are talking about. And I see the pride being ignited back into them, because that's where we're at today. Due to unfortunate circumstances, we did lose a lot of our language. We did lose a lot of the culture, and it's a struggle to bring it back. But here in Member 2 is more of a struggle per se to maybe Eskasoni, but we're all working together. All the Unamagi or the MK schools, we're all under one umbrella, and there's no competition. I'm better than you. We're all collaborate to deliver the best possible Mi'kmaq education and language to the children. Well, see, in here where I have the little kids, we don't do any tests. There's no paper. We don't write. It's why I do my assessments by just listening and observing. And sometimes I'd have a child that socially may not be want to, like there's a seat over there for one particular student who does not want to sit around anybody. So after a while, I let him move, because every class he'd come in and move his desk. So finally, I just left it there for him. And I observed him. And when it comes time for the icebreakers, and I hear him answer me. So I'm like, okay, he's all right down there. He can stay there. That's pretty well how I just, like, even with the centers, I just walk around listening to them. And if I don't hear any talking going on in this particular center, then I'd go up to the child and say, Dalawisit la oasis, or Dalawisit, Dalawen, what are you doing? Dalawen, Dalawisit la oasis, what's this animal's name? So if I don't hear anything, then I'll be the first one to ask the questions. They can answer me, I just keep going. We used to do we did an assessment probably about 3 years ago for MK, and I'm not too quite sure of the results from that assessment, but I'm sure it was different with the other schools. Like I said, there's not too many people in our community that speak Mi'kmaq. It's the pride. It's the pride, because unfortunately, a lot of our children don't even realize that they are Mi'kmaq. And that's sad, because I took that for advantage, that growing up, I just thought it was instilled in everybody, and it wasn't. Like at first, I had maybe a couple small children, like, my mom doesn't want me to speak Mi'kmaq. My dad doesn't know how to speak Mi'kmaq. And, I can't overstep any parents, but I just try to encourage them that, well, then you can go teach them, what you learn here. And once in a while, I don't get too many parents on parent-teacher, because I find it, because we're a community school, I see a lot of the parents in and out every day. And it just makes my heart explode when a woman told me last week that she laid down with her grandchild to go to sleep. And the grandchild started talking about all these emotions. And the grandmother didn't know that, she said, I didn't know half the stuff she was talking about. And I said, where'd you hear all this stuff? And she said, Mi'kmaq. My Mi'kmaq teacher teaches them. So for her to come back and tell me, I'm so proud of her, that pays for it all right there. Even if it's one child that leaves, at least that child can pass on what they know, because we're in dire straits and we need all the help we can get right now. Our elder population is declining. And I'm 46 years old. I was born and raised in Member 2, and I was fortunate enough to be raised by my grandparents. So I am the youngest speaking Mi'kmaq speaking person here in our community. And it's because of that I was raised by my grandparents. After me, 46, I'd say probably 60 years old and up are some Mi'kmaq speakers. Our elders speak the language. All the elders, yeah. So there's a big gap there, but I was fortunate enough. And see, when I was young too, I didn't even realize what I had. I didn't realize what I had until it became a crisis. Yeah. And I didn't become a teacher till I was 40. Yeah. And I remember the first class I took, I was asked, what do you want out of this? And I said, I want to be a Mi'kmaq teacher in my community. Not everybody gets what they want, but I did.
So what to you is Indigenous education? I know that's a huge question.
What is it to me? To me, it's a lifestyle. It's who you are. Like, even if you didn't want anything to do with it, you can't. You can't get rid of it. It's in you. And whether you need maybe a little bit of water to have that bloom to come out, is very important to me. Very important to me. I continually, constantly tell the children, we have to respect ourselves. We have to respect each other, our elders. And there's a big disconnection now. A lot of people are quick to say modern technology, but I'm not sure if it's that, because it all begins at home. It starts at home. Some lights have gone off in people. We need to ignite that spark back in everybody, and as a community as a whole, not just member to, but all of Mi'kmaq territories. I know there's a struggle straight across North America with Indigenous languages, but here right now, it's the land. It's everything around us. Everything. It's part of who you are, whether you want it or not. And we were taken away from our where we lived the first time. We were relocated here, so we were taken away from the water. We were taken away from the woods. We were brought here, and this land was just, when we were brought here, was swamp and rock. So we weren't expected to excel or go beyond just living here. And here we are, 2018, and I've never been more prouder to be Mi'kmaq, and especially if I'm member two. And if we could just get the children, I think we skipped a step with some, but I think we can double back and continue what we tried to do, and that's just to instill their language and their culture, and just let them honor who they are as Mi'kmaq. And if they do, then they're just going to strive. I teach the children all the time, especially if there's a little battling or arguing. That's not our way, I tell them. That's not our way to be mean to each other. So they know the 7 sacred teachings inside out. So I tell them, if you follow life with those teachings, you're going to live an awesome life. But whenever you go the complete opposite, that's when your troubles start. So they're slowly trying to get that. And I love him. Like, I was sitting here yesterday listening to the teacher next door talking about asking the children if they knew what humility was. And I'm listening. I could hear them talking about the same stuff we talked about here. And we talk about humility. We talk about the wolf. Wolf doesn't go hunt for himself. He always takes care of his pack first. And that's what one of the boys was telling his teacher. And he goes, you're absolutely right. And I'm like, yes. If I can pass it on to a few children, and I feel good about that. I sleep well at night knowing that I'm doing a good job. And they are too, because their job is 100 times harder than mine. It's like dreams coming true. I know, I just got word last week that a guy that I know since he was a child is becoming a medical doctor. And he's going out to do his residency, but he wants to come back to his home community and to be a medical doctor here in the communities. And 20 years ago, we wouldn't have heard of that. We have lawyers. I tell the children that, you can do whatever you want, because it was sad at one point. People thought if they learned the Mi'kmaq language, they're not going to be smart academically, which I don't know if that was a result from, it must have been a result from residential schools, but it's still a struggle for some. They're still reluctant, but the numbers, the statistics show that you're doing a lot more academically with the second language, which would be English as your second language. So we're going to change the world. I have a feeling we're going to change the world. We're going to do a lot. My children, I have 2 children. One's 28, one's 12, and the possibilities out there for them weren't out there for me when I was their age. And I always wanted to be a teacher when I was small. And I had one bad experience with a teacher. She hurt me. And I lost respect for the school system. I didn't want to be part of it anymore. And then a few years later, this opportunity came up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going for it. And I go, oh, you're not worried about going back to school at your age? Like, no, because I was narrow-minded. I just wanted to get it done and come back and do what I have to do. And the children, everybody's unique. And when I was going to school, you learned one way and one way. So that's where my I didn't feel good about myself academically. But the children today, I see them strive because we identify learning different learners. You know, everybody is accommodated today, not like before. So the sky is the limit for the children today. And if they can pick their language up and their culture, then that's it. They're going. In our schools today, but like this school here, we have wonderful, wonderful staff. But there's no speakers within this whole institution here. There's myself, the grade 4 teacher, and she just came on like 2 years ago, and the other teacher that teaches the junior high level. And we're the 3 speakers in this school. And that's including the K4. There's K4, there's one lady there that speaks. And not to be rude, but I think we need to build a nest for our children here. Like our children in this community have a choice to come to school here or go off to reserve. And sadly enough, a lot do go off to reserve. But here, I think we need to build like a language nest, a cultural nest where the children come in and they're just, everything is about them, about their culture, about their language. And maybe they'll understand that, hey, this is who I am. This is not just our half hour with the Nigma teacher, you know. I feel like it's been talked about a lot, but it's never been implemented yet. Like they want to do a language nest from the early ages of 4 years old. And I think that would make a big difference right there. I've seen it done in other schools, and it's successful. And we're just a little behind, I guess. But if we pull up our socks and make these changes, yeah, I think that's the important thing. Because it's hard. A lot of the kids don't have anyone speaking at home. So here we're with them most time. You know, a lot of working parents, especially, we're with their children more than them at times. So whatever we can do to embrace them with their language and culture is the utmost importance to me.